In his online fight with Donald Trump yesterday, Elon Musk's idea of dropping a really big bomb was to reveal that Trump was in the Epstein files. But you knew that, right? It's a crazy ideological contortion that got created around Epstein. This man, who was, as you see there, videotaped, hanging out and leering at women with Donald Trump. A man who, according to Trump in a 2002 interview, likes beautiful women as much as I do. Many of them are on the younger side. A man who died by suicide in a federal prison in Donald Trump's administration under the aegis of William Barr's Department of Justice. And yet Epstein's reported sex trafficking was seized on by the right wing, spun into a conspiracy theory about the perfidy of liberal politicians like Hillary Clinton and global elites like Bill Gates. You know what we do have, though? Over a decade of shoe leather reporting and digging by real journalists. Thanks to those people who did the reporting, we know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein court files and in Epstein's address book. We also know about a sweetheart plea deal that Epstein got in 2008. A deal that let him serve just 13 months in jail and preempted a deeper probe into his victims and co-conspirators. That deal was struck by Alex Acosta, the federal prosecutor that Donald Trump named as his Secretary of Labor in 2017. Thanks to reporters, we also know the story of Virginia Giuffre, one of the women Epstein reportedly trafficked to the rich and famous for sex, starting when she was 17. Giuffre, who died by suicide in April at the age of 41, was working at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club when she was groomed and recruited by Epstein's girlfriend and employee, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell, by the way, who Donald Trump has repeatedly wished well, is currently appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court. And according to a 2021 book by journalist Michael Wolff, Trump reportedly considered pardoning Maxwell at the end of his first term. Last year on the campaign trail, Trump appealed to his conspiracy-minded base by vowing to release government documents on a host of topics. But he did balk at just one.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
JFK, check. MLK, check. Epstein, yeah. Well, Even then, you can see Trump wrestling with the contradiction that Elon Musk laid bare. Donald Trump has been at the center of the Epstein scandal the whole time.
Elon, as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
A golden key to the White House was Elon Musk's leaving present. Now, less than a week later, Donald Trump might want to think about changing the locks.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because...
Today, the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz was the Oval Office guest star, but Elon Musk and his criticism of Mr. Trump's spending bill dominated the conversation, to the president's obvious irritation.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem.
Just minutes later, Elon Musk replied on X, saying, "False. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night, so fast almost no one in Congress could even read it."
Where is he? Come on up here, Elon.
Mr. Musk obviously adored being in the spotlight as he campaigned alongside Donald Trump. Today, he's claiming that without him and the more than $250 million he donated, the president would have lost the election. They were once seen together everywhere. Now their row is being conducted in plain sight, on social media. Mr. Trump on Truth Social upped the ante with, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy." Musk called that an obvious lie, and then really escalated the abuse, suggesting Donald Trump has withheld files related to Jeffrey Epstein, who was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and died by suicide in jail, because he's named in them. Mr. Musk tweeted, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public, Have a nice day, DJT. Mr. Musk and his chainsaw were brought into government to aggressively cut government spending. A pointless exercise, he thinks, if President Trump will blow all the savings on tax cuts in his spending bill.
You know, I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
Which is that one?
Donald Trump is now suggesting the easiest way to save money would be to terminate Elon Musk's billions of dollars in government contracts and subsidies. It was probably inevitable this bromance would turn sour, but no one expected it to go this bad, this fast.
Today, in parts of Los Angeles, cleanup, a forced calm, and in one part, a crowd of protesters outside the facility holding union leader David Huerta, charged with obstructing police during an ICE raid last week. This all was sparked Friday after a series of immigration raids by federal agents clad in camouflage as part of President Trump's mass deportation campaign. Protesters surrounded a federal detention facility in downtown LA, where police clashed with them. On Saturday, more protests erupted in LA, spreading to the towns of Paramount and Compton amid reports of immigration raids there. That was the day Trump ordered the National Guard deployment. Also Saturday, the FBI said an officer was hit by a rock. They are still searching for the suspect. At the same time, video showed vast groups of non-violent protesters, some practicing civil disobedience, like these Sunday afternoon, who marched onto a portion of the highway stopping traffic.
This is us saying you can't do this. We won't let you separate children from their families, and we're gonna fight back.
Police in LA eventually forced protesters off the highway, but things were no longer peaceful. Driverless cars set aflame, and people threw rocks at patrol cars. Officers took shelter underneath an overpass. Others in the crowd also shot fireworks. Police fired flashbangs.
Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you.
Trump's National Guard order means Newsom cannot use the troops for law enforcement. In all, more than 1,000 National Guard members are deployed in Los Angeles so far. And multiple outlets report Trump is going further, temporarily deploying active duty troops, Marines, to Los Angeles without invoking the Insurrection Act that other presidents have cited for such a rare move. That would be an unprecedented step. As a result, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom faces two tests: protecting his largest city from upheaval and confronting Trump. Today, California sued the president, calling the National Guard order unconstitutional and immoral. Trump has said he is open to arresting Newsom. Last night, the governor responded.
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with.
In the meantime, federal officials say they have no plans to stop immigration raids in the Los Angeles area this week, with the National Guard standing by.
We will build a better NATO, one that is stronger, fairer, and more lethal, so that we can continue to keep our people safe and our adversaries at bay. Because of Russia, war has returned to Europe. We also face the threat of terrorism and fierce global competition. Russia has teamed up with China, North Korea, and Iran. They are expanding their militaries and their capabilities. Putin's war machine is speeding up, not slowing down. Russia is reconstituting its forces with Chinese technology and producing more weapons faster than we thought. In terms of ammunition, Russia produces in 3 months what the whole of NATO produces in a year. And its defense industrial base is expected to roll out 1,500 tanks, 3,000 armored vehicles, and 200 Iskander missiles this year alone. Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. 5 years. Let's not kid ourselves. We are all on the eastern flank now. The new generation of Russian missiles travel at many times the speed of sound. The distance between European capitals is only a matter of minutes. There is no longer East or West. There is just NATO. China is also modernizing and expanding its military at breakneck speed. It already has the world's largest navy. And its battle force is expected to grow to 435 ships by 2030. China is also building up its nuclear arsenal. And it aims to have more than 1,000 operational nuclear warheads also by 2030. Those who stand against freedom and democracy are digging in, preparing for long-term confrontation, and trying to dominate and divide us. In 1936, Winston Churchill posed this question during a debate in the House of Commons. Will there be time to put our defenses in order? Will there be time to make these necessary efforts? Or will the awful words, "too late," be recorded? And that is the question for NATO now. History has taught us that to preserve peace, we must prepare for war.